What's up, folks? Back with another reaction, and I figured I'd keep going with the Shnootz Rootz sort of theme, and I would also react to another absolute favorite track of mine, one that I have also mentioned on a couple other videos. So as I mentioned in the last video with Pablo Gargano's On a Deep Tip, one of my favorite acts and producers is Mark Steinmeier, who produced, again, as Nuclear Hyde, and he was probably the main producer but responsible for the Overcharge featuring G Meter or Meter releases. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Let me see if I can get a specific breakdown. Written by Mark Steinmeier and G Meter or Meter. Produced by Mark Steinmeier. So again, it sounds like he had a collaborator, but he was the one actually working the machines and the boxes. So we're going to give Steinmeier massive credit on this one. So this is from German label Time Unlimited. Brilliant hard trance / acid trance label. There are many releases to rave about and to speak of. Nostrum's Home was on the Time Unlimited label, and Bernd Augustinski is another legendary producer who's right at the very top in terms of using the acid box, the silver box, if you will, in a emotional way. Pablo Gargano, as we just heard, and many other tunes would tell us, he certainly was a leader in that vein. But yeah, Nostrum was incredible at using the 303 in a sort of an emotional way. But this tune, I would say, is less emotional, although it is melodic and epic, and the sort of a part in the middle and then a sort of layer in the back third that one could consider emotional, but this to me is more of just epic. The word is epic, and indeed, I'm trying to remember the first time I heard this. I know it was on, a friend of mine had it on a Tony Gamboa, is like a American DJ, I want to say producer too, but certainly DJ. He had a mixtape that my friend had that this track was on. A couple other of my friends had gone to a party at Hotel Alexandria in LA, which is a venue for many parties back in the day. I wasn't at this particular party, but I was a big fan of this tune already. I had heard it on, indeed, the first place I definitely heard it, now that I think about it, is The Sound of Acid Core Volume 2, where it's, I think, on the first CD, but it's the green installment, or the light green installment. Yeah, it was number 2. It came out in 97, and that's where I first heard this. But a couple of my friends went to a party at Hotel Alexandria, forget the name of it, and there was a performer, I think DJ, and certainly in this performance she was DJing, but Space Girl was her name, and apparently she played this tune, and it went off. And because I had played this for some friends of mine, and because there's the synth, it's not actually at the beginning of the track. Some people start this track after the proper sort of long and suspenseful dramatic intro, so I think that's a mistake. But either way, once you get through the dramatic intro, there's this very notable synth or sound. It actually sounds like a record back cueing, or it sounds like bubbles, like acid bubbles. And indeed, my friend Eric, DJ Nemesis, he called it the bubble track, and so apparently they were like, just listening, grooving and whatever, and then Space Girl dropped this, and I guess Eric looked at a couple people that they were there with, our mutual friends, was like, oh, it's the bubble track, whatever. So anyway, let's listen to Whiplash, one of my absolute favorite tunes ever, by Overcharge featuring G Meter or Meter, produced by Mark Steinmeier, written and produced by Steinmeier and G Meter or Meter. Time Unlimited, I believe, is this 96? It wouldn't surprise me if this is another 96 masterpiece. But let's just confirm. 97 is the absolute latest it could possibly be, but I don't think it's that late. I do think it's 96. Overcharge featuring G Meter. Whiplash master release. It is 96. Of course. Oh, G Meter. Okay, so let's get a little more info. Robin Arnecki. Okay, so I've seen. Yeah, there were other releases, not just the G Meter releases, I want to say. Yeah, so Twisted, he worked, so Twisted was, oh wow, it's Steinmeier and Olaf Kramer? Like, really? What the hell? Okay, so, yeah, and there were also Scope. But yeah, so they're giving credit to Robin Arnecki on some releases. I mean, the common theme in all these is Steinmeier. So I think Steinmeier was kind of the main driving force in this like crew of producers. But there was clearly a lot of cross-pollination, cross-collaboration. Like I said, Twisted was a name that they used among several others. But yeah, the track we're going to listen to was apparently written and produced by Steinmeier and Robin Arnecki. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but produced by Steinmeier. So here we go. One of the best acid trance tunes of all time, Whiplash. Time Unlimited, 1996. Except that's not the right track. So, wait. It's a lie then. It says... Oh, I'm just misreading it. Okay. It's weird. Again, who puts... Like, surely the A side, if you have a track... or one side that's a single track, surely that's the A side, right? But here we're saying it's A1 and A2 and then B1. So, yeah. I mean, but now that I say that, I remember I labeled that Planet Techno white label in the same way that this is labeled, so I guess I'm being a hypocrite. Here we go, man. So this is the intro that some people skip. Here's the intro that some people skip on the right speed. I have two copies of this. I'm thinking this might be the slightly inferior copy. Because the other one I have is like... I mean, this sounds alright. I guess it was more that intro pre-track segment that had a lot of surface noise. Yeah, so... Oh, that synth, that... Remember that laugh. And that's all I'm going to say. Listen to all the crazy sounds already. Someone like banging some pots and pans. That synth, like a whip. And now like a rising sort of pad synth, like string pad synth. Rather than just dropping with like a cymbal smash or something. Where's he going? Where are you going, bro? Come here. What are you doing? Just don't fall, Solly. I trust you not to fall. My cat's old and he actually falls sometimes. What are you doing, bro? For it, and now that is where most people start this tune. Think about missing out on that intro. That's got an insane in reverse. The bubble track. Acid is just ready to fire. It's just warming up the cannon. Nice little old school like trance snare roll. The acid pipe. It's full. It's like an acid techno riff that got lost, left the compound, and wandered into an acid trance track and didn't know that it was in the wrong place. It's like a way more energetic and like wicked than most acid riffs in an acid trance track. Note those triple kicks. Now there's that extra layer on top, like now it's like sharper, like more accented. Singing, screaming, shouting. And now, sort of like an industrial factory kind of synth. Maybe not full techno style in that regard, but again, sort of like a harsher, like industrial type synth. And then that melody creeping in. Epic. Like, this drop, man. First time I heard it, blew me away. It was one of those like, oh my god moments. Enjoy that. That laugh at that moment is perfection. Melody just flies away. Back to that stretched, like, churning acid work. Many acid trance tunes, I think, would bring back the melody part with a further breakdown and build up, or at least like a quick one of those pause, regroup and drop sort of moments. But this Steinmeier here decides instead to go back into the melody part and to combine it with that driving acid sort of backbone of the track, without going back into a breakdown. We do a full snare roll, but it's while the track is still playing, so to speak. And the acid is legendary. The structure, perfect. The acid work, delicious. The synth, the melody synth, like epic, emotional. But I'll give it emotional, fine. But the concert of everything is the real sublimity, more than the sum of its parts. And of course, the perfect end of a mix track. Or this is layered over an incoming track, which is equally delicious. It's like the whole track from beginning to end. That intro, of course the main part, and then now this outro. It's a work of art and a DJ friendly perfection. Like, it's just, it's one of those few tunes where I do sort of nitpick tunes even when I love them. But there's not much I would do to ever change this track. It's just from beginning to end. It's, again, both a work of art and DJ friendly. It's epic, it's driving, it's powerful, it's acidic. I don't know what else to say. Like, I'll just fanboy in this all day long. So I'll cut myself off here. But seriously, Mark Steinmeier, you genius. The Nuclear Hide catalog is brilliant. We'll definitely get into some of that. Axis and Running Man and so on, genius. But again, the Overcharge releases I mentioned before, it's not just this one. There's another one, Minds Are Changing, and the title track, oh my god, forget about it. Wicked sort of, underground, subterranean acid trance. Where are you going, Saul? You make me nervous, bro. I don't want you to fall. You're just an old little guy. But yeah, so big ups to Time Unlimited, genius German acid trance label, just top stuff. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed one of my favorite tunes ever in the Shnootz Rootz series, because again, these tracks were very instrumental to my, initial gravitation toward acid trance. Both On a Deep Tip and where are you going? On a Deep Tip and this tune here, 96, 97. This is when I was in the process of falling in love with acid music, acid trance, acid techno at the very beginning, so it's such a key tune in my own matriculation to what I have become as a DJ and a music lover. So big ups to the label, big ups to the artist, and big ups to this epic legendary tune. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. If you have any recommendations, any requests, let me know. I'm always interested to hear some feedback. Other than that, have a good day, have a good night. I'll see you next time.